Oof. Good evening, guys. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. I hope we're all well. Good evening, guys. My name is AyoT. As you know, this is Eagle Dragon of Nigerian football. I hope everybody is doing well and had a good Wednesday. I just wanted us to come on live very, very quickly to just catch up, talk about today's action. We'll try to do these daily catch-ups as often as possible, but just to talk about today's action. Europa League, La Liga, Coppa Italia, and a bunch of other Swedish Allsvenskan, and a bunch of other games that happened today involving Nigerian players. Quite a number of Nigerian players were in action. I'll say this, not every single game that happens do we post, because sometimes it's just impossible to post about every single game. So you guys should always be aware that in as much as we try to make as many posts as possible, there's games that we can't post for certain reasons, maybe no picture, things like that, or not having detailed stats enough. But let me just catch up with you guys and tell you what happened today. And then, of course, if you want to share some thoughts about Osimhen, Dele-Bashiru, etc., you can share your thoughts as well. So in England, Victor Adeboyejo was in action for Bolton Wanderers as they fell to a 5-1 Carabao Cup defeat against Arsenal. In Spain, Crisantos Uche had an okay game for Getafe, 1-0 defeat against Barcelona in Spanish La Liga. In Italy, in the Coppa Italia, Simi Nwankwo scored for Salernitana as they fell to a 3-1 defeat against Udinese. Maduka Okoye was on the bench. He was rested for today's game. Also in the Coppa Italia, Ebenezer Akintomiro and David Nkeye were in action as Sampdoria fell to a 1-0 defeat against Genoa. In the UEFA Europa League, we had a bunch of Nigerian players in action. Of course, Dele-Bashiru got a goal, got an assist, his first goal for Lazio. Fantastic finish on that one. Good display, sent a message to the coach that he needs to stop keeping him on the bench because the coach had benched him for the last two games. So I was happy when I watched that Lazio game. I was watching Lazio, I was watching Galatasaray. I had one eye on Getafe. Not easy when there's so many games happening at the same time. But shout out to Dele-Bashiru, congrats on the first goal and of course the assist. Kevin Akpoguma had a decent, a good defensive display for Hoffenheim. They played a 1-1 draw against FC Midtjylland. Victor Orakpo was a late sub for OGC Nice. They played a 1-1 draw against Real Sociedad. Victor Osimhen. Another game, another assist. No goals yet, but another assist for Victor Osimhen in Galatasaray's 3-1 victory over PAOK. Another assist for Victor Osimhen, 3-1 victory. And then Elfsborg, Ibrahim Buhari was in action for Elfsborg. Not the best game from him today, but he did make his Europa League debut in Elfsborg's 3-2 defeat against AZ Alkmaar. Elfsborg, of course, went down to 10 men towards the end of the game. At that point, it was almost impossible for them to come back and secure a point. Let me see which other game to tell you about. In South Africa, we had players in action in South Africa. Ibrahim Jabbar came on as a sub as Stellenbosch defeated Cape Town City. Etiosa Igodaro was on target for Amazulu, but they lost 3-1 against Kaizer Chiefs. And then Stanley Nwabali was in goal for Chippa United. He had a decent game today. He made 5 saves. Stanley Nwabali made 5 saves for Chippa United today as they played a 1-1 draw against Sekhukhune United. I hope I got that name correctly. But yes, there was also Nigerian player Taufik Ismail came on as a sub for Gornik in Poland. Yes, in the UEFA Women's Champions League, Oluwatosin Dimeyi featured for Galatasaray as they qualified for the first time ever. Galatasaray qualified for the UEFA Women's Champions League group stage. Tosin Dimai played the entire 120 minutes. The game went to extra time. They won 2-1 in extra time, 4-3 on aggregate. So congratulations to Tosin Dimai and congratulations to Galatasaray. Look forward to watching her in the Women's Champions League this season. They're probably going to get slapped. They're probably going to get slapped in most of the games, but she's going to be playing in the Women's Champions League. So that's something to be happy about for her. And unfortunately, Christy Uchebe's Benfica. Uchebe did not play because she's injured, but Benfica were in action against Hammarby. And unfortunately, they fell to a 2-0 defeat. So Benfica will not be playing in this season's UEFA Women's Champions League. Very disappointing for Benfica, I must imagine, because they are a team that usually gets to the Champions League group stage and even got to the knockout rounds last time. So must be very disappointing for Benfica. Uchebe is injured for about 6 weeks, so she did not play. But I'm sure she must be sad that her team couldn't get it done. And then in Latvia, in the Latvian Cup, Abdulrahman Taiwo scored a hat-trick, 3 goals for FK Auda as they defeated Laipaja to reach the final of the Latvian Cup. Abiodun Oguni, also known as Omojesu, and then Olabanjo Ogunji also featured for FK Auda, but Abdulrahman Taiwo was the star of the show with his hat-trick. I didn't watch that game live, so I have to go back and watch the match, but a hat-trick is always a good thing. It doesn't matter if it's 3 tappings, a hat-trick is a hat-trick is a hat-trick. In Sweden, Silas Nwankwo came on as a sub for Mjällby as they earned a late draw against John Bosco Samuel Kalu's IFK Värnamo. So that was a 1-1 draw. Silas Nwankwo played. John Bosco Samuel Kalu also played. Let me see. Yeah, in Norway, Mustafa Issa played for IK Start in their 3-1 Norwegian Eliteserien, Norwegian First Division victory over Asani. So yes, that was the action in Norway. Efe Loki came on as a second half sub for Asani. There were games in Bosnia as well. I don't want to talk about it. But yeah, lots of Nigerian players in action. And tonight in the US Open Cup, in the USA, in the Open Cup, more than likely William Agada will also feature for Sporting Kansas City FC. So that's pretty much the roundup. Let's just get into conversations about certain people. Let me see what somebody's asking in the comments. Okay, so I'll start with Victor Osimhen. Obviously, Osimhen is the big talk, is the one that everybody is desperate for him to get that first goal. After all the transfer drama, all the back and forth, all the talk, he made that move to Galatasaray on loan. I said, for me, I was saying is that I need him to score 20 goals before January, because that's the way to prove that you're a top striker, to prove that you are one of the best in the world, to prove that you are on the level that we say that you are on, to prove that you deserve the kind of money that you say you deserve, just to prove all the doubters and all the naysayers wrong. And so far, Osimhen has not been able to get the goal. On his debut, he had a header that his teammates converted. It got turned into an assist. Today again, he had a header that was that led to the own goal. To be fair, this second one, Barbaraman should have cleared that ball. So it is less impressive than the first one that his teammates converted, because the header was on target, but Rahman could have cleared it. He swung and he accidentally hit it into his own net. So it was an own goal. And then he got the assist for the third goal today. It was a good assist, to be fair. Also showed that Osimhen, even though he's desperate for a goal, he said it after the game in the interview that he's still waiting. He wants to score his first goal. But I like the fact that for the third goal, he wasn't selfish, because he could have headed it towards the goal. But he didn't. He chose to head it directly at goal. He chose to head it back into the box. He wasn't selfish, set up his teammates, and it was a good setup at the end of the day. We're just still waiting for that goal. I think today, he had a good game, but I think as always, people say, oh, I'm too harsh on Osimhen sometimes, or I'm too critical, things like that. And for me, I guess I just look at it that if you are a top player, if you are a star player, if you are the best player in Africa, your expectations, the expectations on your shoulders, on your head, are going to be very, very high. And you cannot want to be a superstar, but at the same time not want to deal with these high expectations. So I try to be as objective as possible, but I also don't want to get into the habits that a lot of people are getting into, of making excuses for everything that doesn't go Osimhen's way. I saw some people start saying, oh, his teammates are not good enough, his teammates are selfish, things like that. I try to avoid all those and focus on what was within his control and see how he did with those things that were within his control. Today, I thought Osimhen had two good chances to score. I thought he had two chances that, if you told me Osimhen is going to get this chance, will he score or not, I would have said yes, Osimhen will score. The first chance in the 22 seconds into the game, and I watched the whole game at least until Osimhen went off. The first chance, 22 seconds into the game, it was a good header. Not the easiest opportunity, but Osimhen did well with the header. The header went over. 22 seconds, just still getting warmed up. In the 26th minute, I thought he had a good opportunity when he took the shot from the right-hand side inside the box. The goalkeeper saved it. In the 43rd minute, there was a good cross from the left side of Galatasaray's attack. Osimhen, I felt like this was a very good chance. This was a chance that Osimhen should have scored. In the 43rd minute, where his header went wide. This is a chance that we've seen Osimhen convert the kind of chance many times for Napoli. But today it just didn't go in. And then in the 48th minute, he had the header that was going on target that led to the own goal by Baba Rahman. And the 63rd minute, he also had another good chance that, you have to be honest, even forget Osimhen right now. For any Nigerian striker, if that was Boniface, if that was Awoni, if that was Akko, you would say should have scored, the 63rd minute. To be fair, it was a fantastic save by the goalkeeper, but it was also kind of because Osimhen played it directly straight at him, square ball into the box, he got a touch on it, the goalkeeper saved it. But anywhere other than straight, and that would have been his first goal for Galatasaray. He still had a good game, he's still contributing towards his team, but I will say Galatasaray did not sign Osimhen to come and be an assist guy. He needs to get the goals, and the longer it takes for him to get that first goal, the more the pressure ramps up on him. It definitely did not help that Mario Icardi came off the bench for the last 15 minutes or so of the game and got his own goal. But I know that Galatasaray have so much faith in him. The fans love him, so they are going to give him time. And at least it's not like he's just doing cardio on the pitch. The fact that he's getting these assists, even though he's not able to score a goal, will help to buy patience with the fans. But I'm very eager for Osimhen to score his first goal. I'm very eager for him to rack up a number of goals, because Osimhen needs to hit, if he stays in Galatasaray for the whole season, he needs to hit like 30 goals for us to really be able to go in public and brag about him the way we've been bragging about him. You cannot come to Galatasaray, play the whole season there, score 15 goals, and then you want us to go and be arguing that you're one of the best strikers in the world. So that's the reason why I'm very desperate for him to start hitting it. But is he doing okay? Yes, he's doing okay. However, is this what we expect from the best player in Africa? No, it is not. But I wish him all the very best, man. I like Victor Osimhen. I've been supporting Victor Osimhen since under 17 days. There's a personal story that I have relating to Victor Osimhen that makes me like him even more. So I want him to succeed. I want him to do well. I really want him to do well, but at the same time, he's a superstar player. So I'm going to set high expectations for him. It's just like if you have a child that is extremely smart, doing brilliantly in school, you start setting, I want you to go to the best university in the world, or one of the best universities, get into Ivy League. If that child doesn't do it, you will still support them, you will still love them, but you will be slightly disappointed that they were not able to achieve their potential. So that's the reason why I set these high targets for Victor Osimhen, because I believe Osimhen is good enough to hit these targets, and I believe that for the level that we put him on, those are the kind of numbers that he needs to be getting. It's not a good thing that Osimhen doesn't get to 20 goals in most seasons. He needs to be doing that consistently, and for that to happen, the goals need to come, man. The goals need to start coming. It's only 3 games in, so let me not get too carried away, but I thought today would be the day he will get his first goal. Now we have to look forward to Galatasaray's next game. I believe that their next game is coming up against Kashimpasa. So Kashimpasa is Kenneth Omeruo's club. So Uncle K, talk to your boys. Make them just allow Victor score at least one. Or Galatasaray, if they get a penalty, they should allow Victor take the penalty and score. Just let him get off the mark, because for strikers, when that first goal comes in, sometimes it can just start to flow like water. So Uncle K, speak to your boys. If you are playing, I'm not saying match fix, but just do one or two things for your boy. Your man just get off the mark. But yeah. Let me see what you guys are saying. Official Lucky Friday says he had 2 good chances today but couldn't convert it. Yeah. Super Falcons fan page says 30 is too much. Well, I don't think 30 is too much. I think 30 is the bare minimum for a player that we want to say is one of the best in the world. All the best strikers in the world score 30, and they play in very, very difficult leagues. So if you are playing in Turkey, 30 is not too much, man. 30 is not too much. Official Lucky Friday says, I don't think you'll be able to get to the numbers you just mentioned. I hope so. Somebody said, got 30 goals because Turkish league now Farmers League. Haaland, when they score 30 or this thing playing in England, it does not have 2 heads. Boy King says, I like the fact that he's not under pressure. He's just enjoying his game. Just that the goals are yet to rush. Tim says, Omeru, I beg, allow Victor score next match. We need him for confidence in a new league. Yeah, so we do. Okay, that's out of Victor Osimhen. Let's talk about Fisayo Dele-Bashiru. Right now, I said it on one of my podcast episodes that I have invested all my stocks in Ademola Lookman. Yeah, all my stocks, my player confidence stocks, if I put it that way, I've invested in Ademola Lookman. But gradually, I'm going to maybe start taking 1 or 2 and investing in Fisayo Dele-Bashiru. I know how good he is. I like him a lot. So maybe I need to move a few of my stocks from Ademola Lookman and also just split between the both of them, because this boy is a boy that can get to the very, very, very top. He was on the bench, did not play at all for Lazio's last 2 matches, but then the coach gave him a start again today in the Europa League game against Dynamo Kiev. And while I was watching Galatasaray on my TV, I was watching Lazio on my laptop, on my computer. And Dele-Bashiru is a baller. He is just a baller. He is one of those guys that you just see on the ball. You see them run with the ball. You see them move with the ball, play the ball. And you're just like, this guy, they play. It's all those people that you don't even necessarily have to watch them for 90 minutes. Obviously, at this top level, you kind of have to do. But I'm just saying in general, once they take a few touches, they make a few passes, they shoot the ball once, whether it goes in or it goes wide, you're just like, yeah, this guy, the ball. That's Fisayo Dele-Bashiru. Such a natural talent, can drive with the ball, drives with pace, drives with power. Sometimes when he's running with the ball, I don't want to hype him too much, but when he's running with the ball, sometimes he gives me AyoT vibes. Sometimes he just gives me AyoT vibes. He's running with so much power and at the same time, so much pace, so much strength. People cannot stop him. And then when he needs to finish, he can finish. If you haven't seen his goal that he scored today, go and look for the video of that goal. It reminded me of like a Suarez finish. Just quality. 2 touches, 1 touch to set himself up, another touch to whip that thing, curl it into the top corner. It was a fantastic goal. And then his assist was a good cross to Buledia for Buledia to score. Fantastic display today. He completed 100% of his passes. He did not misplace a single pass in the entire game. Like just almost I don't want to say almost the perfect game, but that's the word that's coming to my head. Just almost the perfect game for him. This guy is a baller. Someone say Haba, not Yaya, but I get what you're saying. I mean, Yaya is an absolute legend, so obviously that's high praise. But I mentioned Yaya because that's a player that a lot of people would know and people will get the comparison. But in essence, what I'm trying to say is, if you're like me, go and invest some stocks in Fisayo Dele-Bashiru, because this boy is a baller. this boy is a baller, and he's playing like somebody that will get to the very, very, very top of his game. This is only his first season in Italy. This is only his fourth game for Lazio, and the more he plays, the more experience he gets, the better he's going to be. Also, just a reminder that he's only 23 years old. So by the time he gets to his peak in another 4-5 years, man, I run out of superlatives for this boy. Fisayo Dele-Bashiru is a very, very good football player. Use him in the right way. Give him the freedom to run. Give him the freedom to express himself. And, I'm not surprised because I watched him last season in Turkey. But obviously, he's always like, okay, how can you translate what you were doing in Turkey to a tougher league, playing in Europe now? And I'm happy that he has got his first goal and assist. And hopefully, at the end of the season, Fisayo Dele-Bashiru is the kind of player that I think when he gets, double digits in goals and assists every year, is what I expect from somebody like him with his talent and his potential. He's the kind of player that can easily get you 10 goals, 10 assists every season. He's that good, both when he's in front of the goal and setting up his teammates. I think 10 goals, 10 assists. Maybe not this year because it's his first year in Lazio, but as he grows, I think that's the kind of standard, that's the kind of goal that he'll be setting for himself and we should be expecting from him. Top talent, and hopefully he can keep impressing like this. Okay, yeah, so that's that on Fisayo Dele-Bashiru. Which other player I want to talk about? Crisanto Suche. This guy, the Getafe coach is not allowing us to see this boy play in midfield. He's not allowing us to see Crisanto Suche play in midfield. Today, again, against Barcelona, he played as a forward. Barely really got on the ball. Made 20 touches in the entire game. Always plays his legs off, just running around, trying to help his team, winning fouls when he can, battling in the air, battling on the ground. But again, it's always tough against Barca when, Barca are going to dominate possession. You're isolated up top, just chasing balls down that are not getting to you. And considering the kind of talent that we believe that he is as a midfielder, we want to see him play in midfield, but it's not quite happening. The coach is still using him as a striker. He has played only one game in center mid, one game as a center attacking midfielder this season. And, I like the guy, but we need to see him play in his natural position more often, especially for those people that are trying to say, oh, he'll be a good player for the Super Eagles, blah, 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 things like that. We need to see him play in midfield some more. But it is not happening quite yet with the Getafe coach and their Getafe setup because they don't really have a quality or a good natural striker on their team right now, which is rather unfortunate. I would also say Victor Orakpo, the young boy who plays for OGC Nice. He came off the bench today for the last 16 minutes. Good display. Had a decent chance to probably get the winning goal. He dragged the shot wide. Ball fell to him in the box on the right hand side of the box. So after the ball fell to him, he just took a snapshot, but he dragged it wide. If I want to be critical or if I want to be objective, I would say he should have got it on target. But the boy is, is still an 18-year-old. He's still a young boy. He's still learning. He's getting better. If that was like Osimhen now, for example, why? Like, absolutely, why are you not getting it on target? But I'll cut Victor Orakpo some slack. He wears the same jersey numbers as Osimhen, 45. And he's also a young player that has the potential to develop into something good. We'll see more of him over the course of the season. But it was a good chance, but I'm nevertheless I'm happy that they trusted him enough to bring him on as a sub in this game in the Europa League match. And it was a 1-1 draw against Real Sociedad. Umar Sadiq did not feature for Sociedad. I don't know, did he get injured in the last match? I'm not sure, but he wasn't even on the bench today. So that was, let me just double check. No, he didn't get injured, so he just wasn't in the team for the game today. Coach's decision. But yeah, shout out to Victor Orakpo. We'll see more of you in the future. We know that you are a good talent and we'll be paying attention. I would say Kevin Akpoguma. Kevin Akpoguma. I know that when he played for the Super Eagles of Nigeria, he didn't have the best of times. I know. But I think the way this guy is playing, maybe it is time to give him another chance. Maybe. Kevin Akpoguma has been doing quite well since the latter half of last season for Hoffenheim. This season he has started well also. I think we should maybe give him another call up, give him another chance. Let him come and partner with Calvin Bassey. Bassey on the left of the centre back pairing. Akpoguma on the right of the centre back pairing. Let's see what he can do. If it's a 3-man defense, fine. It can be Bassey, Ekong, Akpoguma. If it's 2 players, it can be Bassey, Akpoguma, it can be Ekong. I don't care how they do it. But yeah, he plays in the back 3 traditionally for his club. Sometimes he plays as the left centre back, sometimes he plays as the right centre back. But I think we should give him a chance. All due respect to Semi Ajayi, I like Semi Ajayi. It's all these players that are just calm, collected. But I think maybe we should give Akpoguma a call up. Let him come into the team. Let him, fight for it in training. And let's see what he can do. Somebody here said I prefer Semi Ajayi. My response to you will be, I'm not saying you can't, don't get me wrong. I'm not doubting your preference. I'm just saying why. Because a lot of the time when people say things like this, they don't watch the other player, blah blah, or they just like one person. So I'm just asking, like, why do you prefer Semi Ajayi? I mean, I'm not saying I prefer Akpoguma, I'm just saying give him a chance. But I'm asking you, why do you prefer Semi Ajayi? Is it something that he does better than Akpoguma? Is this something that Akpoguma does not have that Semi Ajayi has? Or is it simply because Semi Ajayi is the one in the team right now and you just like him because he's in the team and he's been doing good? But yeah, I think, with all due respect to everybody, I think he can get into the team ahead of certain. I don't want to start naming names. It may not be like, say, I pick on somebody and say that they're not good. But yeah, I think he can get into the team ahead of some people that are on the bench. Ezekiel said he is quiet and does a silent job. No fault so far, so why change him? Again, I did not say change him. I said bring him into the team and let him fight for it in training. I said he deserves another chance. I did not say he should displace Semi Ajayi. Competition is a good thing. So that's all I'm asking for. Give him a chance to compete. Don't not call him up and call up certain other players, and say that because you cannot tell us that those players are better than he is, So if Akpoguma wins out in training, he wins. If Semi Ajayi wins it in training, he wins. It's that simple. Let them fight for it. Let them fight for it. Sumlaye said Ismail Sadiq has scored 3 goals already this season. He deserves another chance. Somebody was attacking me on Twitter today saying that, I don't talk about the MPFL, but if they don't qualify for Champions League, I'm ready to talk about it. So I'm leaving MPFL for you people. I've already said it. I watch the number of games that I'm able to watch. My focus is on Nigerian players abroad, but I keep a keen eye on the NPFL. I don't know the players as well as some people do, so I leave it for the Nigerian journalists, the fantastic journalists that cover the NPFL. I leave them to talk about the league. They know better than I do. For me, I will talk about the ones abroad that I watch every week, that I watch every day, and that I know very well. So if they think Sadiq is good enough, who am I to say he's not? But yeah, interesting games. And let me just say some games to look forward to. Tomorrow. In the Europa League, Fenerbahce are playing against Union Saint-Gilloise. We'll see if Batshuayi Samuel makes his return. Malmo against Rangers. Ciro Desas will probably start. I don't know if Leon Balogun is fit, but he might be on the bench. We have to wait and see. In the UEFA Women's Champions League, PSG will be playing against Juventus. So Jennifer Echegini maybe getting her first goal, getting her first assist. I want to see if PSG can pull a comeback. They are 3-1 down after the first leg. We have to see what happens there. In the UEFA Women's Champions League, Chiamaka Nnadozie might be in action tomorrow for Paris FC against Man City. They might bench her because they've benched her in some games. I don't know if it's rotation or what. But Paris FC lost the first leg 5-0. So this second leg, I don't if they can somehow overturn that 5-0 deficit, I'll send Chiamaka 5 million naira. I don't think it will happen. But yeah, going back to the Europa League, we have Ajax against Besiktas. Chuba Akpom will probably start for Ajax, and then we have Lyon against Olympiacos. Hopefully, Gift Urban is able to start. If not, hopefully he gets decent minutes from the bench for Lyon. And then we have FC Steaua Bucharest against Riga's Footballer Scholar, where Victor Oswagu will likely be in action for RFS. So that's what is coming up tomorrow in the Europa League, and then of course in the Women's Champions League. There's also some games in Sweden, in lower division in France, in Greece, in Israel, in Georgia, in Tunisia. But I can't talk about in Rwanda as well. But I can't go into every game. But yeah, tomorrow should be an exciting day of football as well. Okay. If anybody wants to come and share their thoughts on Osimhen, Dele-Bashiru, on the games today, send a request. Let me bring you on. If anybody wants to talk, send a request. Let me bring you on, and then we'll call it a night. Smitla, if you're available, come on. Let's hear from you as well. Or if you guys have a particular question and you want me to respond to, you can ask your question as well. Yeah, hello. Okay. False alarm. She sent a request. I brought him up. He dropped back off immediately. Sumto says Dele-Bashiru is clinical. We shouldn't sleep on him. We definitely. I mean, I don't think anybody's sleeping on Dele-Bashiru. To be fair, he has been in the Super Eagles squad in recent times. I think he'll keep on being invited. He's a quality player. Like I said, I'm investing some of my Lukman stocks and taking it towards um towards Mr. Dele-Bashiru. Some of the visual says, what are your thoughts on Uche being played as a striker? What are my thoughts? I don't love it. I do not love it. Um, I want to see him play in his natural position. I want to see him shine in his natural position. I want to see if there's actually a possibility that he is a potential Super Eagles option in the future. And I cannot see that if they keep playing him as a striker, because I don't see him getting ready to play as a striker for the Super Eagles, ahead of who? Osimhen, Boniface, Awoni, Ako Adams, even Cyril Dessers, even Chubakbom. I don't see him getting ahead of any of those guys. So I don't like it. Of course, the coach is going to do what he thinks is best for his team. The coach is paid to win games. As a football player, if they tell him to go in goal, he has to go in goal. He doesn't have a choice because the coach is the boss. But as a fan that I am, as a Nigerian fan, I don't like it. I don't like it. That's what I would say. Someone said between Uche Kusatos and Hazard or Jediron, who deserves a call up? None of them. None of them. What has Hamzat done to deserve a call up? He has come off the bench 3 times for Lens. What has Uche done? I think we need to be calming down with the way we call some players for call ups. Neither of them can earn a Super Eagles call up right now. It doesn't mean they're not good players. It doesn't mean that they won't play for the Super Eagles in the future. But right now, I don't think there's any chance. I don't think there's any chance. I saw another question. Someone said, what do I think of the interview granted by the Getafe player talking about Crisantos Uche? Okay, I mean, I don't know if I should save this for the podcast, but I'll just say, I saw the interview where he was talking to ESPN, and he was talking about how, the refs in La Liga are not good, that the refs are not good, that they kick him, he falls down in front of them, and they just tell him to stand up. But if they kick somebody else, they'll blow a foul for the player, that the refs don't blow fouls against him. And then he also spoke about how some of the fans will be calling him the N word, saying all sorts of things. You know, it's one of those dicey situations, because what he said is not wrong. What he said is not wrong. What he said is not wrong. But is he going to get the backing of the club? Is he going to get the backing of the La Liga? I doubt it. I doubt it. He spoke from his heart. The boy is new in the league, is upset about how things are going. He spoke from his heart. I think next time maybe he should just be more calculated in how he conveys this information. You know, Even if you want to speak about the fans, when you speak about refs publicly like that, when you call refs out, when you say the refs are not good, the truth is that even your club, they might back you up behind the scenes, but your club will not even back you up in public, because these leagues have strong rules. Once you start to imply bias, once you start to question the officials, things like that, these clubs in these leagues, they have strong rules against it. And if the club tries to back him up and say, oh, yes, it's true, they'll just hit them with a heavy fine. You know, also, next time, you should just be more careful. It goes along what I was saying on the podcast yesterday about Nigerian players just getting media training, knowing how to answer questions. Even if you want to pour your heart out, you can pour it out in a different way, whereby, there are not things that people can actually take against you and use against you. Again, you can hit me up. It's something that we do. I've done it with multiple players in the past. We'll teach you how to answer questions, how to talk to the media, how to evade certain questions, how to give um PC answers, just how to respond to all these things without attracting controversy. Because the truth is that while the things that he was saying are true, are honest, are raw, just real how he feels, people are not going to take it that way. If you look at the comments on these things, people are already saying, "Oh, who is this guy? Oh, when did he even start playing? Oh, all these kind of things." And you don't want people to start looking at you like that. You're not going to win any friends with the Spanish people talking like that. So again, while what he was saying, they must be true to him. They must be the reality of what he's living. I cannot doubt that is what he feels is happening to him. You just have to be more careful. You have to be more careful, because you don't want to put a target on your back. Once you put a target on your back, the criticism becomes a lot more, the negativity becomes a lot more, the racism becomes a lot more, the refs become a lot harsher on you because they are saying that they're not good enough. You know, so you know, I don't know. If I were him, I would have done it. I would have answered differently. But yeah, let's see what happens. I hope that the backlash doesn't continue onto the field. I hope that the backlash just remains on social media. But he definitely could have answered it differently. But you know what I'll tell you, what I love the most? I love his Igbo accent. I absolutely love his Igbo accent. Sorry, Nigerian players that like to be faking accents. Even Osimhen, when he's talking in interviews, you hear him trying to change his accent. Aroku Dari, when he's talking in interviews, you hear him trying to change his accent. I love the ones that don't talk. You have Igbo accents. Talk with your Igbo accent. If you have Yoruba H factor, speak with your H factor. These Europeans, these Asians, they don't change their accents to fit the rest of the world. So we need to be proud of our own accent. We need to be proud of it. You don't need to sound like a rainbow. Talk, the referee no blow. Yes, say it, the referee no blow. Your debut, say it is your debut. Nobody should make you have to change your accent. If they don't understand you, they will go and listen to it back. They will understand what you are saying. But I absolutely love when I hear Nigerian players speaking with their own accent. I'm tired of watching Nigerian players and you're trying to sound American or you're trying to sound British, because these people would never do the same to accommodate you or to make you comfortable. So that's my favorite thing about Crisanto Chuchi. I love his accent. I love his accent. Somebody say I'm laughing at him. I'm not laughing at him. I'm telling you, I love it. I love how Nigerian he is. And I hope that Europe freshens him up, Europe exposes him to more. But I hope that he doesn't lose his Nigerianness. I hope that he doesn't lose his Nigerianness. Um, Question from Temitayo. He says, should Dele-Bashiru be given a starting shirt in the Super Eagles going forward with Iwobi in a pivot? You know what I think? I think Dele-Bashiru, it depends on the formation that we're playing. It depends on the formation that we're playing. If we're playing in the same 3-4-3 formation, I think, in fact, forget where we're playing. I think Iwobi should play from the right wing. Let me even start from that. I think Iwobi should play from the right wing. The reality of it is that most of our right wingers that have been playing these days, Chukwueze, the time they put Ian Achot there, whoever you put there, they're not performing, they're not delivering. And why are we curbing the abilities of Alex Iwobi? Alex Iwobi is so expressive going forward. He's currently probably at his peak. You probably say he's at his peak. I think he's 27 or 28 years old right now. I, Play will be on the wing, man. I cannot say left wing because we know how good Lookman is right now. But play will be on the right wing. Like Chukwueze isn't performing like that. So play will be there. Let's see what Iwobi can offer. Let's see what he can do for us from the wing. But you keep playing him in a two-man midfield. He has to now start running back and forth in the center of the park. Certain people don't know they're not happy with how he tackles or how he defends. People start to criticize him. I think just play Iwobi on the wing and let him express himself. And if he doesn't do well on the wing, then then you can criticize him and say you tried and it didn't work. And then you can play Dele in the middle and then let Dele do what he does in the middle of the park with Ndidi beside and behind. That's how I feel about it. Someone said, you have come with your emotions. If you know me, you know that I'm one of the few people that rarely ever speaks based on emotion. I don't like when people make blanket statements like that. How am I being emotional? Like I'm telling you what I think. You say it's come with your emotion. Um, but yeah, Galatasaray are looking for engagement, man. That's the thing I can say. Galatasaray are looking for engagement because that own goal today. If we are watching the game from the moment it went in, it was obvious that it was an own goal. From the moment it went in, it was obvious that it was an own goal. I don't know how Galatasaray went to go and post, Osimhen. I think it's just for engagement, to hype fans. And that's how, the thing always blows my mind, man. People in the comments, did you watch the game? He was a goal. It was this, it was that. And I'm just like, there's something, if you're in America, you might have heard it. There's this guy, Colin Coward, he hosts a show called The Herd I think he's on FS1. He said, no matter how many times I'm right, people will still argue with me. And when I heard that, I was like, I can relate to this so much, man. No matter how many times I'm right, people will still argue with me. It is crazy. It is crazy sometimes to me. But you guys know I like talking football. I like the engagement. I like going back and forth to people when it's reasonable. Um, so yeah, I'll still engage people until I get that and I'll stop. But I don't understand why people like arguing with me, even though they know that I'm right most of the time. Most of the time. Somebody said, but Osimhen was the last player on his team to touch the ball. Yes, it was, but that's not how goals work. That's just not how goals work. Yes, Mr. Adedotu, good evening.
AyoT, please permit me. I'm in the bedroom. Permit me to off my camera. You know very well like me.
Okay,
Please.
go on.
Yeah, let me say this. I just came on to chip in this. I know as Nigerians, any player that breaks out want them to start playing for Eagles. But I think we should give these guys little time to be matured enough so that we won't put them under pressure. As people calling that, bring Oswagu, bring Uche Crisantos, bring Orapo. These are guys that just played like 4 or 5 matches for their club size. And now you are telling us to bring them Super Eagles. Now when they come and they don't perform, you start blaming them that they don't even know how to play. I think we should allow these guys time, you know, to get to be matured enough. If you are talking about George did well for Antwerp last season. So if you bring someone like that, I won't be surprised because he has done it over time. That don't want our people to please not try to put all these boys into put them under pressure. Olapo to be under 20, agreed. That's why we say, oh, if Eagles want to do well, or NFL, that's why they need to organize friendlies or build our under 23. So all these guys can go to under 23 and we see them. I'm tired of people saying that we should bring these guys. I'm sorry, I'll be coming on as a substitute. And you're not saying bring in Super Eagles. For who? For who, please? And AyoT, yeah, I think it's high time we start saying the truth. You know, Suki show, get no serious. And I think we have to say should be ahead of Tianimu. Igbobu should be ahead of Tianimu. This is what I've been saying. We should please invite players based on merit. That's what I'm saying. That's what I came on to say. And besides, AyoT, you did not congratulate me for beating Inter Milan,
Please,
but
please,
I'm not
please.
bothered
Let's
to.
let's let's focus on important things. Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Adedotin. I beg you are
So that
going
was very
you are
important
going
to
off you
agree.
are going off topic now.
Thank you
All
for
right,
having me.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Abdaziz, I sent you a request. I encourage you to come on. Don't be a keyboard warrior. Come on. You said I speak with emotion that Iwobi does not do anything for his club. That even though he plays on the wing, I'm not sure what Iwobi are watching. I'm not sure what standard they are using, but Iwobi has absolutely been very good for Fulham on the wing this season. I don't know what metric you are using to judge him. In fact, you're making me doubt that you actually watch him at all, or that you know what you are saying. So I'm sending a request to come on and back up your text with words. Let's see your face. Let's hear from you. A lot of people know how to argue on the keypad. Come on, let's talk. Let's debate. Let's talk about it. Uh, you know. But I think you are very, very wrong on Alex Iwobi. For you to say he does nothing, bro. I don't know what Iwobi are watching. In fact, I doubt that you are watching. I really doubt that you are watching. Um, okay, I have a request from I am Owolewa, senior journalist in Nigeria. Yes, hello.
How far, my
I'm good.
brother?
How are you?
Very well.
Yes, good evening. We're just catching up on everything that happened today, and all the different conversations going on. So what do you have for us?
Well, uh, just a few minutes ago, I just watched the uh, the Santos interview with
Yes.
ESPN Africa. I think it's very disappointing, and from the way the guy was speaking, you will see that he's going through a lot of things. Uh,
Mm.
with all the kind of the way he was talking, and it's very disappointing. And if I'm to interpret that as a journalist, I think the case of racism and this at the same time would bring me back to the fact that Africa, we have a lot of work to do. We need to develop our own. We need to make football like a real business in Africa. By the time we do this across board, there might not be any need for our players to play abroad again.
Mm.
And again, even though that the remuneration as far as football is concerned in Nigeria is not really bad at the moment, but infrastructure wise, well, just far from it. Last season, I was at the Burnley Stadium. I was at the Sheffield United Stadium. These are small club when it comes to the English Premier League, but the kind of facility that they put up, at those stadium is so huge, and it's something completely far from what uh, we have in a country like Nigeria. So we need to improve our football development in Africa so that our African players, our superstars can play back in Africa.
Sorry, I got distracted by one comment here. Sometimes I don't know what people are talking about. Abzi said, "Ayo, stop acting like David Doherty, who criticizes players is not in good terms with." I consider you the best. I'm sorry. I've not criticized anybody today, so I don't understand what you're talking about. Also, which player am I not in good terms with?
You see, you
Sometimes
see,
this even
sometimes,
confuse me.
AY, sometimes, I will always tell you that you give very little attention to all this kind of comments because, especially Nigerians, we speak with emotions too much because the game is beyond what you just watch on TV. There is a lot behind the scene that makes a player a good player. There is a lot journalists, analysts put in place to conclude about a particular player or a particular coach. Over time, my claims about Nigerian coaches, especially those who are coaching in Nigeria, especially at the MPFL level, what I say about them is basically about me taking time to watch their team, either in a lorry or outside the lorry. So if I say that, I think I prefer Ilechukwu, I think I prefer Ogumodedida, I think I prefer Boso and any other player, I'm only saying that based on what I've seen, not because I do not like any other coach. So if you give attention to all of these people, if you ask them, throw the question back to them, they can't even explain why they said what they have said to you. Because they just see, because, see, let me say this again. Um, Someone that have sports, soft spots for Arsenal, or you call it an Arsenal fan. Somebody, when I was on TV from many years back, somebody has pointed fingers at my face to be an Arsenal. And I never knew when I support the team, but I'm just saying, or saying it the way it is at that moment. If it changes tomorrow, then I have to change the way I look at them. And in football, it is what you are doing at the moment that people talk about. Even if you scored uh, 20 goals last season, if you have not scored this, see, how many games has uh, Gabriel Jesus played for Arsenal and he hasn't scored? But he is the guy from years back that is, banging the goals almost every game. So what you were saying about him that time, you can't say about him now. That is not to say that you will not show some respect because of what he has given to the game in the past. But at the moment, you cannot say the same thing of him. So if you are crucifying, no, don't let me use the word crucifying him. If you are saying it the way it is at the moment, it does not mean that you hate the player or you hate him. You're just saying it what it is at the moment.
Okay. Thank you for that. I have a question here from Sumto. He says, do you think Osimhen is getting enough supplies from the Gala players when compared to Naples? I like that question,
I also
and
love to attend to this too. After
yes,
you, after you.
what I will say from my point of view, I cannot directly compare to Napoli because obviously the sample size in Galatasaray is only 3 matches versus how many seasons in Napoli. But what I will say is that so far, I don't think we can use supply as an excuse for Victor Osimhen. I don't think we can use supply as an excuse for him so far. In his first 2 games in the Turkish Super League, Osimhen has missed 5 good chances that you expect him to have scored. In today's Europa League game, he missed 2 good chances that you expect him to have scored. So I don't think we can use supply as an excuse to defend him. He has not quite found his scoring boots yet. Knowing the kind of player that Osimhen is, the quality that he has, we believe that it is only a matter of time before he starts scoring the goals at
The
plenty.
point.
But for me, I just encourage. I'm just not going to make any excuses, and because like I've said this before, I feel like when it comes to Osimhen, players, Nigerian fans are always quick to say, "Oh, his teammates are selfish. Oh, his teammates are not doing this." But then for other players, we don't give them the same excuses. So I think he has missed chances that he should have scored, but I'm not writing him off. I'm not saying he's not good. None of that. I just would not use supply as an excuse for him. When he scores his first goal, I'm sure the second will come quick after that, and the third and the fourth, and he will still hit my target of 30 goals in all competitions. I believe so. Well, yeah. Mr. Olewa, what do you have to say on that?
Yeah. I think sometimes for those who have been opportune to change the environment from probably one country to the other, especially a country that you are not familiar with the kind of weather that they have there, we understand this particular question better. Because when you go to a new place, you need time to adapt. You can be lucky that you adapt quickly. You can meet so many things that are almost equal to where you are coming from that might help you quickly to adapt. You might meet new people, you might meet people who help you to adapt quickly. All of these things you do. If Mr. Here adapt quickly when he moves to England or Spain or Italy, don't use the same yardsticks, don't use the same metrics for Mr. B who has gone to China or go to Saudi Arabia. The adaptation level might be a little bit different. Today now, uh, Nice, they are celebrating Moses Simon for his 150 uh, appearances. They said he has scored 27 goals and 29 assists. So they put all of that together to be around 46 goals. They say he has directly been involved in 36 goals. Yes, Victor Osimhen is the striker, is expected to score goals, but don't forget he has 3 assists already. So for me, he's not doing badly yet. Maybe by the time he has stayed half of the season, or he has played about 20 games, 25 games, 30 games, and not scoring at all, and then we can be worried. But it's not. This is a guy who hasn't, who didn't do anything during the what's it called, the off-season period, the preseason. He didn't do anything at that time, so it needs a lot of time now before things will, you know, continue. I mean, begin to gel for him in Turkey. So it's too early to start getting worried about what's happening to him.
Mm. No, yeah. I agree with you. Let's give him some more time. Like I said earlier, high expectations because he's a superstar player, but it's still too early for us to write him off, especially the fact that he has gotten those 3 assists. Obviously, I would have preferred 3 goals to 3 assists, but let's give him some time. By his
Yeah.
if he has
Me too.
if he has not scored by his 10th match, you can talk, I will understand. If he has not scored by his 10th match, I will completely understand if people are criticizing him. If he has,
What if from his 11th game he scored in 8 consecutive, 9 consecutive, or 6 consecutive, or 7 consecutive games
that
from
would
his
be
11th?
no, but if he does that, that would be good, but that is not superstar level because we don't need you for 8 games in a row. We need you for the whole season.
No. I just mean that he's played 10 games, he hasn't scored. You begin to get worried or criticize him. And from his 11th game, he begins to score. At
No, yeah, that's what
least
I'm
the
saying.
hope.
Like it would be a good thing if he. I mean, but what I'm just saying is that at the same time, it's just looking at how you assess different players. Like if any team wants to sign a striker now, for example, if you have a player that scores in bunches, and but also has dry spells, it's different from if you have a player that spreads his goals across the entire season. That's what I'm saying. So that's just what I'm saying. But I believe, like I thought he would score today. He nearly scored. His next game is against Kashim Pasa. I'm going to send a text to Uncle K after this match, Omero, that I beg he just tell his boys, they should just allow him, at least may he just at least get one goal. Once he gets, because I know Victor is a lion. Once he gets that first goal, the ginger,
let me
his
let
body
me
will be hot,
let me
and then the rest of
I'm
them will
sorry.
come.
I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry for, I mean, to you, Arsenal in most of my examples and go. You know when Teta signed I have a lot of people were making jest of him. They said Chelsea's reject, blah blah blah, all kind of banter were thrown at both himself and Arteta. And at a particular point in time, there was a penalty. They had to give that penalty to him deliberately so that he can, score. He scored. I'm sure that if you give paper to anybody.
Sorry for the break in transmission, guys. We hit the 1 hour mark, so it's cut off. But yeah, I'm back. Let's just wrap up in like maybe the next 30 minutes. Sorry about that. It cut us off because we hit the 1 hour mark. So my apologies for that. I need them to stop that nonsense of cutting off after 1 hour. But that's what happened. It's because he hit 1 hour mark, he cut us off. But let's just have the conversation in the next 30 minutes, maybe. We're just talking about everything that happened today and all the various questions that you guys might have and you'd like to get my opinion on. I'm happy to answer. I know somebody had asked about Ethan Nwaneri. My response to that is I couldn't care less about him right now. That's the honest truth. I couldn't care less about him right now. He's a good player. He's a top talent. But I'm like, if you guys have heard me talk about the Super Eagles before, you know my stance on this. There is nothing that is going to make me to say that a player that is playing under 21 football should be called up to the Super Eagles. The day I say it, is either that player is my brother, that player is my in-law, or that player is my son. Or maybe that player is paying me $1 million a year. Absolutely nothing will make me say, and when I say under 21, I'm not talking about age, it's not age. It's not age I'm referring to. I'm talking about the level that the player is playing at. He's playing under 21 games. Yes, I know he played in the League Cup today for us now, but a player that is playing under 21 football or reserve team football, I don't care if you score 30 goals in the reserve league. There is nothing that will make me say you should come and play for the Super Eagles, except you're my son, or you're my brother, or you're my in-law, or maybe you're paying me $1 million to be biased for you. And no Nigerian footballer is going to pay $1 million. So let's get that one straight. Again, age is not the factor. It is the level that you're playing for. I don't care if he scored 2 goals for Arsenal today. When he plays more first team football and then he decides he wants to play for Nigeria, he becomes my concern. But right now, he's under 21. He's English. I could not care less. Somebody's asking, is it true that Tosin is coming to play for the Super Eagles? I've seen the reports. I personally don't have any direct contact with Tosin or even indirect contact with Tosin. So I can neither confirm nor deny the reports. I've seen it just like the rest of you. We wait to see if it happens. I like Tosin as a player. I'm a Chelsea fan. He's a good player for Chelsea. I like him. But I'm never going to beg Tosin. I think we've begged Tosin enough to play for Nigeria. He wants to play for England. He's happy to be Nigerian on Independence Day. He will post picture on Independence Day wearing Nigerian jersey. After that, he's English again. When he decides, he decides. I like him. I think he's a good player. But if he chooses to play for us or not, I couldn't care less. When he finally decides and if he chooses Nigeria, then I will start caring. But for now, let Tosin do whatever Tosin wants to do. That's my whole issue on it. Somebody said, "I also you be Chelsea fan, and they come for you." I've never hidden the fact that I'm a Chelsea fan. I've never hidden that fact. I am a Chelsea. I've supported Chelsea since I was like 9 years old or something. So yes, those are my thoughts on Tosin. Any other questions you guys have? Anybody else want to share their thoughts before we wrap up for this evening? And of course, the weekend is coming, it's fast approaching, And then the Conference League starts next week. So lots of European football, lots of action that you guys have to watch. Or you guys should watch, not have to. Somebody said, "Ayo, talk about Tosin and Rabiot." I literally just finished talking about Tosin and Rabiot. Maybe you were not on. You'll have to watch it back. But I literally just finished talking about him. Any update on Emmanuel Dennis? Not that I know of. For now, Emmanuel Dennis is just collecting his salary, chilling. just in his house, going to training, coming back home. I've not heard anything about him. I don't know what they are going to do. I don't know what they want to do. But I haven't heard anything about him. Somebody said play one, bench one, sell one. Yakubu, Agawa, and Martins. I like this question. I'll say I play Yak. I play the Yak. Feed the Yak and he will score. Yakubu gets too much disrespect. I love Yakubu as a striker. I will play Yakubu. I will bench Obafemi Martins and I will sell Julius Agahoa. No disrespect to Agahoa. I got wonder for a reason. But I think I love Yakubu, man. I love Yakubu. Beast of a striker. I think underappreciated striker for Nigeria. Obafemi Martins, I think he has that killer instinct. He has that pace that can destroy opponents. So it's somebody that I'll bring off the bench when defenders are getting tired, both mentally and physically. Bring on Obafemi Martins and let him run at them, play some balls in behind. And Agawa, I love him too, legend of the game. But yeah, I'll I'll go with Yak and Martins ahead of him. But thank you for that question. I actually enjoy that. I'm used to being the one asking these kind of questions, so it's nice to get it back for a minute. Somebody said, when would you have time to educate players on how to handle questions like a seminar? If you want to organize seminar and you want to pay me to come and speak, I'll gladly we can discuss. But if you are saying just on my own time, what I plan to do is I plan to do a series on our channel, on our pages that we'll be posting every week, just talking about branding and just giving tidbits and key points, just because I think it's important. If you guys have been following Eagle Striker since I started this in June of 2019, on our first page that got deleted, not even this page, you would know that I was very, very big on branding. I used to talk about it so much. I used to implore some people to get into it. But I kind of calmed down a bit because when you say the same thing over and over and over again, you talk to players, players disrespect you. From the ones that have told me, oh, how much do I have that I'm talking to them? From the ones that have told me all sorts of things, from the ones that have called me all sorts of names, from the ones that have said bad things about me behind my back. Nigerian players, though, it made me kind of lose my ginger to keep talking about these things to them. Because when you're just speaking to a wall, it can get frustrating. Now, don't get me wrong, there are many of them that listen, there are many of them that ask questions, but there are also many of them that just insult you, frustrate you, disrespect you. For what? So I kind of lost my ginger. But I think it's something that I'm very passionate about, something that I still do for work, I still do for players, for clubs, for brands. So I will get into it again. I'll do a series. We'll try to educate as much as possible. I just don't know if I can dedicate my time to something like a seminar for the players to not value it at the end of the day. I don't know if it's worth my time. My time is like $100 an hour. So if you want to pay me just $100 an hour, then I can do seminar. Somebody said, what I don't understand is how a sound, fresh, smart young man like you will be supporting Chelsea. Doesn't look the part at all. You should be supporting cooler clubs. I don't judge it. LOL. Kenny Fresh said you like Yak because they do podcasts too. Somebody said, what's your take on Bruno Labadia's post, Nigeria Next Chapter? Initially, when I saw that post, I actually thought it was Labadia sending us a message of maybe he's back in the picture. But after the way the person kept on posting, it became quite evident to me that somebody is just running that account and looking for attention. I don't think that it is Bruno Labbadia genuinely making those posts, because the person started reposting old articles of when the initial announcement was made, things like that. I think somebody is just using his account for attention. That is, even if that is his actual account and not just an account that NFF thought was his own.
AyoT, good evening, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Yeah. Just let me just I say I cannot see you online. Say it's come and say hello.
Ah,
So
thank you, Smith.
they have been bashing you on the MPFL. Oh, I know. But please, I don't want you to give up on the MPFL, please. You can still show what report them. I just want to come and make one or two contributions about what you said earlier
Mm,
before it went off about you mentioned this guy about Dele-Bashiru. I was so impressed with what he did today. And you said it in the podcast too that equality is there. It's just that we just need to actually take time. And I have to be honest with you. I was so impressed with what he did. The finish was like a season finisher. When I saw that through ball, he lashed on the ball, and it was very good goal. And even for me, I think he was their best player today because even the assist he gave for Bumadia,
Bullet,
and
yeah, yeah.
Bumadia, yeah, and that assist actually was top notch because that guy didn't even need to do anything before I actually just put the ball at the back of the net. So I was so impressed with him, and I was also impressed with Kevin Akpoguma
Mm,
because I typed it before that I don't know what is wrong with him in national team because when I used to see the stats that I put up of him every week. I've been wondering that this same guy. So today I took it upon myself to watch him against Milan,
mm,
in their Europa League game, and it was fantastic. Like it was last tackles. I saw one last tackles, everything. It was so good. So, like I suggested too, like you suggested, I think that it's not bad if you bring it back. I don't think it offend anybody. I don't think he asked for his bonus. I don't know. So, there's nothing. Why not bring him back? If a player, like Germany could get into the team, why not? Why not Kevin Aboguma? So I was so impressed too with him too, and I will not end without talking about our star boy. Um, Victor Osimhen. I was waiting for the goal today, but unfortunately, the goal did not arrive. It's another assist that actually what arrived. I don't know maybe to call the first goal assist because it was his ball that they turned into the back of the net, and also the second one too. I think it was a big assist from him that second goal. But the sad news is that Icardi came on, and scored
Scott,
a goal.
yeah.
And scored. So in my opinion, I think Victor needs to start scoring. There's still a lot of, I don't want to put a lot of pressure on him. But I today too, he saw some chances and he didn't sure take it. For me, I think Victor needs to start scoring because I don't want the pressure to get on him. Because a lot of people actually watch waiting. January is coming very soon because he needs to get the numbers. This is Turkish league, 3 games now, no go. But at least you're not a midfielder. You have to get those. You have to get the balls into the back of the net too. So today, good day for Nigeria. You mentioned Uche Crisantos too. You know, I don't know what the coach wants from him, but they will soon start the coach if he continue to play like this. So I just think that the guy needs to play in his natural position and let us because if he's playing forward, he will play like a midfielder up front, like chip the ball and everything, trying to muscle his way. Given that is like the strength of a midfielder. So I just hope that the coach will look at it in a different direction and think that okay, they should give him that opportunity to play that midfield position. Maybe he will finally actually set to and actually perform well.
Mm.
Yeah,
No, yeah. And
yeah,
I mean, Getafe are yet to win a game this
yeah,
season. So,
yeah,
like you said, if things don't change soon, they might just
yeah,
sack. They might just sack that coach.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
no, thank you, Smith. Like I saw your stories, like you're in club or
No,
somewhere. So,
no, no, no,
thank you
no, no.
for.
It's not club. I'm not club. Just a past story. And sorry, I was going to say something about Chidera Juke.
Mm.
And I think you mentioned something in the podcast too. I think he's now doing well with his final balls because I saw the way he threw the ball upon himself and actually scored that winning goal against which team again? Is it
Who did they play?
Valladolid? Is it
Yes,
Valladolid?
Ravel and yes.
Valladolid, yeah. So I was so impressed with that, and I think that our wingers, other wingers too. I'm not talking about Lukman. I know they've been doing that. Other wingers, guys who know who I'm talking about, they should learn from that and be decisive. That's a very good finisher's instinct, and I actually what like that. So, AyoT, thanks for actually bringing me on. Let me stay in the background and be
All
enjoying
right.
you. Thank you. Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah,
Smith. Like
yeah.
always, nice to hear from you and to talk football. This comment just made me laugh. This I am Sonky show said, "Ayo, those days where you they wear 2019 is where you they wear headscarf. How players go take you serious?" Honestly, I feel you, bro. I feel you. Sometimes when I'm proud of the work that I was doing at that time because I was just a young boy. I finished from university in 2019. I finished university. I started the Ghost Tracker, just wanting to share my passion for Nigerian football, for athletes, helping them to grow brands. But when I look back, I can understand you might be right that the way I looked then, it was not easy for them to take me seriously. I didn't have work, I didn't have a job, I didn't have, just a young boy trying to, on the come up, trying to hustle. So maybe, but we thank God for where we are at now, and yeah, that just made me laugh. But yeah, um, Chidera will offer a lot from the bench in the Super Eagles. That's what some of the visuals is saying. Um, okay, if there's no other person I wants to call, let me know if you guys have any last few questions for me to answer. And then we'll call it a night. It's already 12 a.m. in Nigeria. Well, yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I like engaging with you guys. I just thought let's do a catch up. Whenever whenever I'm able to, we'll be doing these daily catch ups. But of course, the important one is on Tuesdays, we'll be doing a podcast for sure. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. Olutade says 5 years make a lot of difference. Thank God, thank for your life. Yes, so lots of difference that 5 years make, man. I know what life was like at that time, honestly, and I'm happy for how life is today. Lots of difference in my life, both physically and emotionally and mentally and everything. Ahmed says, "Do you believe Nigeria will qualify for the World Cup?" Yeah, I still believe. I still believe. After the March games, if we don't win in March, then my belief might wander. But at the moment, I still believe. It's 4 points from the top. You know, not I would say it's obvious that we'll catch up, but we have the quality to catch up. We just need to get these results. So I still believe for sure. I still believe. Somebody said, and financially, did you see my bank account? Did I show you my bank account? How do you know that? But I mean, while I'll say we're always moving higher and higher. So by the grace of God. But did you see my bank account? Please, if you want to donate money to me, I'm always accepting donations. Let me grow my business. Let me pay my staff. Let me enjoy myself small. So yes, always happy to accept donations. You can leave a super chat on our YouTube channel. You can buy your merchandise. You know, things like that. And the merchandise, of course, it supports the business because we make some money off of it. But you also have something to show for it. Somebody said, "Are you an Arsenal fan?" God forbid bad thing. God forbid bad thing. I am not an Arsenal fan. I will never be an Arsenal fan. In fact, I am an Arsenal hater. Proud Arsenal hater. I want Arsenal to lose out of, if they play 50 matches, I want them to lose 49 and draw one. Depending on the circumstances, maybe I might support them if I need them to beat an opponent for me. But I hate everything about Arsenal with every bone in my body, every cell in my body. I hate Arsenal. I don't want anything good to happen to Arsenal Football Club. If that answers your question, I'm very passionate about my hate for Arsenal. If that answers your question, am I a Chelsea fan? Yes, I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm a Chelsea fan. Ali also said, "What's the difference between two of you, Chelsea and Arsenal?" The difference is two Champions League titles. That's the difference. Two Champions League titles. Okay. Um, Talk about that says, "Can Super Eagles invite the other Dele-Bashiru that plays for Watford? He will be good addition to our midfield." Yeah, he's a good player, but I don't think he can get into the Super Eagles yet. I don't think he can get into the Super Eagles yet. You know, probably needs to move to a bigger club, or he needs to do more at Watford. Right now, I don't think he's doing enough at Watford to warrant um, a Super Eagles call up, even though I like him as a player. He's the one that probably even people thought will make it to the Super Eagles first before his brother. But, I'm not saying he won't still make it one day. I just don't think is now. Let me see. Any more questions from you guys, or should we call it a night? So I was saying, Man U is the new Arsenal in time, and bro, Manchester United, man, they suck. They suck. And I'm very upset at Manchester United today because they cost me money today. They cost me money today. But man, Manchester United suck, man. How you like? It's only when you face Barnsley, they flog Barnsley. FC20 you cannot defeat in your home. Chai. Let's not even get into that. Manchester United suck. Banter club. Then their coach will go and win Carabao Cup. You'll start making him out again. It is don't even don't let me get started with Manchester United. Something just says, be careful what you say on socials. Arsenal free need your service in future. I mean, they might need my services in the future. And if this makes them not want to hire me, then so be it. But let's be realistic now. Like it's not when I say I hate Arsenal, is a football hate. It's not like oh I'm wishing bad for the people there. It's just football, you know. But if the football rivalry do them so much, then it means that somebody else will hire me. You know. Any news about Tosin to the Super Eagles? I think I said this already before. I've seen the reports just like the rest of you. I don't have any direct or indirect contact with Tosin, so I can neither confirm nor deny. I'm just seeing the news like the rest of you. But my feeling on Tosin is that Tosin is a very good defender. He plays for the club I support, so I support him. I like him. I just don't think we should beg him. I think we've begged him enough. He has refused to come. So let him do his thing. When he's ready, he'll come. If he's not ready, he'll go and play for England or he won't play for anybody. That's how I look at it. I don't think we should beg him. Somebody's asking when is under 17. The under 17 Women's World Cup starts on October the 16th. October the 16th. That's when the under 17 Women's World Cup starts. Nigeria's first game is against New Zealand. The Flamingos against New Zealand. So October the 16th. That is when the under 17 Women's World Cup kicks off. And hopefully our girls can do better than their elder sisters. That got to the round of 16 of the under 20 Women's World Cup. But of course, I think the most important thing at this stage is development. You want to win games, you want to win tournaments, but the most important thing at this stage, at this age, is development. And let's see the squad that they select. Let's see how they set up the team, and of course, we'll wish them the best. We'll talk about it when the time comes. And of course, the Super Eagles are back in action as well in October. Against Libya, double header against Libya. Double header against Libya. It's going to be an interesting one. October 11th and October 15th for the Super Eagles. Talking that says, does Eagle Striker accept volunteers? Yes, it depends on. It also depends on what the volunteer wants to do. But yes, we do. With all due respect to everybody, I'm someone that I always say like, even if you're going to do something for me for free, I kind of still need you to be good at what you're doing. So I don't just accept every volunteer just to have an extra body. But if you want to volunteer, or if you know somebody that wants to volunteer and the person can actually offer and add value, I don't know everything in the world. I cannot do everything in the world. So yes, content creators. I'm always looking for people that want and content creators. If you can actually help us with ideas to improve our content, new content ideas, series that we can do, shows that we can do, YouTube videos that we can do, whatever the case may be, that is super super valuable. And I'm always looking for that. I would even pay for that as long as the person is very good. You know, but if you want to volunteer as a writer, as anything, also happy to discuss. Um, but yeah, and if you want to come on board as somebody to help us make more money, happy to discuss as well because we have staff to pay, we have all sorts of things, so we need to make money to make all these things happen. But yeah, best will send the DM. All right, thank you. Okay, any other questions, guys, before we before we call it a night. Any other questions? Final call. Final call. Bad boy Simon said my money is expensive. If the way I look at it, with every employee, every contractor, every whatever person that you're paying, the value that the person is bringing must be more than the cost. So if your money is expensive, then it sends me the signal that your value is going to be high as well. So if your value is high, then there's no problem with your money being expensive. Even me, if you want to hire me to do something, I'm not cheap. I'm not that expensive, but I'm not cheap. And the reason I'm not cheap is because I know the value that I bring and I know the work that I can do. So if your money is expensive, absolutely nothing wrong with that, as long as the value matches the money. Yeah. Do you have any news from the under 20 camp? No, I do not. No, I do not. Smith Lai might be better than me at that, but I do not have any news from the under 20 camp, unfortunately. I do not. He said Abraham Tomori all use and dump. Tosin will end up the same way. For his sake, I hope he doesn't end up the same way. For his sake. But there's always a chance that he plays 1, 2 games and then, you know, it doesn't happen again. I think the only news from under 20 is that the AFCON in January is hosted in South Africa or hosted by South Africa. Somebody said, "Look at how people abuse you over Bruno." I'm not even. I don't take it as abuse personally. I think, you know, a lot of people don't understand when you say certain things. A lot of people misinterpret when you say certain things. A lot of people disagree, which they're entitled to disagree. I always try to engage as much as possible within reason, so I, let anybody feel how they want to feel. But again, like I was saying earlier, when you said something publicly so many times, sometimes people need, a real life example for you to talk about before they can understand. And I like Bruno. Bruno is my guy. I have nothing against Bruno. I'm not trying to bring any negative attention or insults towards Bruno. But unfortunately or fortunately, Bruno gave us a real life example that we can talk about in regards or with regards to all the things that I always say about branding, about the use of social media. He gave us a real life example, an action that led to consequences, so we could discuss that directly and people understand what I'm talking about. But at the same time, nothing surprises me about the fact that people misunderstand, people misinterpret, and people just say what they want to say. Um, at this point, I've been talking publicly now for the past 5 years. I've been giving my opinions publicly, talking about Nigerian football, Nigerian footballers publicly. So there's nobody that can insult me on the internet and it will pain me in real life. It's just absolutely not possible. My skin is thicker than that, you know. And yeah, I expect anything that people say. Somebody said I should come to Dallas for the World Cup. I will be wherever Nigeria is at. By the grace of God, Nigeria qualifies for the World Cup. I will be wherever Nigeria is at. If Nigeria is playing in Mexico, I will be in Guadalajara. If Nigeria is playing in Canada, I will be in Toronto or Vancouver. If Nigeria is playing in Miami or in LA, in Dallas, wherever in New Jersey, wherever Nigeria is playing, that's where I will be for the World Cup. But the most important thing is that Nigeria needs to qualify first, because I have so many plans that I want to execute for that World Cup. Many things that I could not do in 2022 because we didn't qualify. And the number of people that have told me, "Oh, stop focusing on Nigeria. You can make more money if you talk about other countries, talk about other leagues, talk about Premier League, all these kinds of things," which are true. Like, the reality of it is that the money that I've made doing English Striker for 5 years, if I was talking about the English Premier League at the same rate, I'll be making a lot more. Just the reality. You know, if I was working with English players instead of Nigerian players, I'll be making a lot more. Just the reality, or Canadian players, even I'll be making a lot more. But my passion, my vim is for Nigeria, for better or for worse. That's where I know that I'm passionate, and that's where I know that every day I'll gladly want to work, I'll gladly want to talk about it. You know, I'll spend my time, watching 30 matches every weekend because I want to know how Nigerian players are doing. Um, you know, but yeah, I think those are all the questions. Those are all the questions. Someone said, "IoT, let's be realistic. We know they go World Cup. Okay, you choose not to believe. I choose to believe. Like I said, after the games in March, depending on the results, my situation might change. My belief might wonder. But at the moment, I believe. I believe we'll qualify. I believe. Okay, guys. I'll head up now. I want to hit the gym very quickly. Um, and yeah, looking forward to discussing football with you guys the next time. If I have time tomorrow after the Europa League, I'll come on again. Whichever day I have time, I'll try to be coming on more often. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Search for Eagles Tracker on YouTube, or you can type in your browser youtube.com/at Eagles Tracker NG. Lots of interviews for you to consume, more interviews coming in the nearest future, lots of content, discussions, conversations, and then weekly Niger FC podcast every Tuesday live on YouTube. You guys have been missing it. I don't want you to keep missing it. But yes, thank you very much, guys. My name is AyoT. This is Eagles Tracker, the home of Nigerian football. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.